Happy Saturday, Mythical Beasts.
Thanks for joining us. You are eating leftover turkey and all the cranberry sauce is gone. You've thought about going to the store and getting some more.
Cold turkey sandwiches.
You've said, it's cheap, I can get more, right out of the can. Do it. You need to do that. It will offer your turkey a reprieve.
You're telling people to go get more cranberry? That was what your application was, to go get more cranberry sauce right now?
Yeah, because you're out of that, but you're not out of turkey. And so if you just say, well, I'm just going to eat the turkey without it, you're not going to be happy. So you should just treat yourself to the extremely discounted version of canned cranberry sauce that they overstocked.
And while you're eating that, you can listen to the latest episode of Ear Biscuits. This week, our guest was Shay Carl.
That's right. He vlogged. He's reaching 5 years of vlogging with his family. We get into some good stuff with him. We get the complete backstory of growing up Mormon, what he believes, the life and death aspects of being a Mormon missionary. We also talk about him being the coolest bus driver ever.
He also told us a story about something very embarrassing that happened at his wedding, during his wedding ceremony. That's hilarious. That is in this episode of Ear Biscuits that you have to go to SoundCloud or iTunes to listen to. Not right now. We're not going to talk about that. But that got me thinking about how embarrassing my wedding ceremony was.
Oh, so we're going to talk about that. But let me pause because we forgot to tell them, when you watch on iTunes, we want you to leave a review. That helps us in the rankings on iTunes. So leave your little review. Just tell us what you think. It doesn't have to be
It could be a big review. It could be big. I don't care.
Yeah, let us know. It's valuable to us, and it also helps with the rankings. If you don't want to listen on iTunes, you can click through and listen on SoundCloud, either through an app on your iOS device or non-Apple device. You can get the SoundCloud app or listen to it on your computer. There's many options.
Yes. But yeah,
my embarrassing wedding story.
I was incredibly embarrassed by myself during my wedding. Well, when I go back and watch the tape now, which is actually a DVD, two main things: my haircut, which I've talked about this before, but for some reason decided to do a complete buzz and a complete clean shave, which is, both of those things are really bad things for me.
Yeah.
And my wedding pictures,
I was there, I agree.
I look like a convict that's just been taken to prison and searched, cavity searched, and then shaved, and then put into. I looked like an inmate when I got married. I'm sorry, I did. And the second embarrassing thing was, I said we wrote our own vows. And when you're young, you're early 20s, and you haven't had a whole lot of life experience, and you have these great things that you want to say to your bride-to-be, and you write your own vows. They seem so awesome and so meaningful, and not that the vows in the ceremony wasn't meaningful, but I should have just said the traditional vows. There's a reason that those vows have been around forever. And to try to do these little, my wife and I watched the thing back, and we just get embarrassed of our early 20s self. So that's just my advice. Don't write your own vows. If you're getting married, use the traditional vows. You're going to be embarrassed by the vows that you write.
Now, I'm sure that I would be embarrassed by many things in my wedding ceremony because it was so many years ago.
I remember it was pretty embarrassing.
I don't remember it nearly as well as I should because I have no video evidence of it. And I talked about this
destroyed
on an episode of Good Mythical Morning. Good Mythical More, actually. I talked about this. But, the guy who we hired to do it was just a friend of the family, and his battery ran out as people were being ushered in. And I'm not even talking about grandma and parents being ushered in. I'm talking about just normal people.
Yeah, fifth row people.
That's all we've got. And he still gave us the tape.
Do you watch that occasionally?
Yeah, I want to see a few people come in. We weren't even out there. It's probably for the best because I would be embarrassed.
How did you respond to that guy? Because
he didn't tell me. He told Christy's parents, and then they told Christy, and then Christy told me.
And you didn't feel okay, I'm going to make a phone call about
this?
There's
nothing you can do at that point. I mean, that's just the way it is.
He's probably done it since. He's probably doing it right now.
But I was embarrassed with what happened at the reception. This is what happened to you more than to me as a groomsman.
You mean the rehearsal dinner?
No. The wedding where you were going to decorate the car.
Oh, yeah. We have an embarrassing story about the rehearsal dinner, which we've also told before. But, yeah, the reception story is that, of course, I was one of the groomsmen. I was not the best man incidentally.
My dad was.
Your dad was the best man because that's what you do in the South. You make your dad the best man.
Right.
That's what I did. But I was definitely number 2 in line, like top non-best man groomsman.
Which means that your main job was to decorate the car that we were going to drive away from the reception in.
Right. And so me and the other groomsmen go out there and find the new Accord that Christy's parents had just bought her. That was going to be this is like, this is your wedding gift, is this Honda Accord, silver, great looking car. And
it was.
And so we were like, okay, let's get the toilet paper, let's get the shaving cream, let's get all the stuff that we were going to do to decorate the car in a traditional wedding reception fashion. And we get to the car, and there is a big man in a suit. And he's like, this ain't gonna happen on my watch. And then I look down and I realize he is armed with a gun. Like, this guy is in a suit, but he has a gun in a holster. Now, this is Kinston, North Carolina. These kinds of things happen where we grew up in that part of North Carolina. People are armed constantly. But this guy,
he was a sheriff's deputy.
He was a sheriff's deputy, but he was at the wedding and he was armed.
He was a friend of the family.
And it wasn't like, guys, fellas, I know you want to do this to the car, but, it was more like, he basically was saying, I am going to shoot you if you decorate your best friend's wife's car.
Because I'll throw Christy's dad under the bus because he doesn't have the internet. He was convinced that shaving cream would destroy the paint job of the car, which, if left on for a prolonged period, may very well be true. But he assigned his friend, the sheriff deputy, the job of keeping anything off of the car that could mess up the paint job.
And you know what we did? What we did is we waited until you were leaving, and the car drove up, and everybody was watching you guys get into the car, and then all of the groomsmen took their shaving cream and their toilet paper, and we just did a really just last minute just
cursory
get as much on there. And the guy with the gun was like sitting there, and he was like looking at me, and he was like, his hand was like sort of hovering over his revolver. But I think it hit him. I can't kill one of the groomsmen at this wedding. That would be worse.
That would be controversial.
That would be worse than the car getting ruined.
Well,
and your
only
father-in-law, your father-in-law was pissed,
livid.
He was so upset. It ruined everything for him that we had gotten away and put shaving cream on the Accord. He was like,
and I just drove 10.
Hasn't talked to me since.
That's not true. I drove like 8 minutes to Christy's house and got the garden hose and just hosed it off. I mean, it was okay, but it was kind of embarrassing. Me being there, seeing that there's a dude about to pull a gun on you. Revolver, shaving cream. I don't know if that's a fair fight.
It was a little bit of an overreaction.
You spray him in the eyes, then you can take the gun. Okay. Again, thanks for listening to this episode of Ear Biscuits. Here's a little taste of our conversation with Shay Carl.
It was fun when we were growing up because it was like me and my brother against my mom and dad. And like we would always do things to we was more of like a friends relationship than a parent-kids relationship sometimes. We'd get in these crazy fights. And I remember one time my mom and dad
were
thought
they
it was,
16 and 17?
Yeah, they got married when they were 9. I remember one time, this is weird. I didn't think I was going to be talking about this. One time they tied me and my brother up together and left us out on the front porch while it was raining. And it was like a fun thing. It wasn't like we were being abused. It was like, oh, you think you're funny? Because me and my brother would always do things to antagonize them.
Wow.
And so they thought, okay, we're going to teach you. And they tied us up together and put us out in the rain on the front step. And we were laughing the whole time, but it was like, no, we're fighting against them. But we were tied up. I think the neighbors probably thought they were crazy.
All right, so go over to SoundCloud or iTunes.
Remember, leave a review on iTunes. It helps us out. And enjoy. Let us know what you think. It's valuable feedback.
Enjoy that turkey sandwich with your ear biscuit. They go great together.